This tragedy should have never occurred. Lives should have never been lost.
The NTSB's investigation revealed a loose wire and a misplaced label contributed to the Key Bridge's collapse. This morning, we focus on the path forward to rebuild that bridge. Hello everyone, I'm Jason Newton. Welcome to 11 TV Hill. It has been more than 1 year since the Dali cargo ship collided into the Key Bridge, and this past week we got new understanding of the moments leading up to that tragedy. The Dali cargo ship experienced multiple blackouts prior to the crash. These blackouts were due to a loose signal wire. This caused the loss of propulsion and steering when the ship was close to the bridge. The NTSB concluded there weren't sufficient measures taken to reduce the Key Bridge's vulnerability to a collapse. Miscommunication to the highway workers on the bridge also played a role. In the end, 6 of those construction workers lost their lives, and those who survived were forever changed.
Had the highway workers been notified of the Dali's emergency at the same time as the MDTA police officers, there would have been about 1 minute and 29 seconds to evacuate before Pier 17 collapsed.
It's not over until it's over, and it will only be over when it's decided in court.
Here's what we know now. More than a year since the bridge collapsed, Maryland commuters are having to rethink their routines. For some, it means spending hours in their cars.
My work day, travel, it takes me, I can't go anywhere in less than 2 hours. Just traffic, it's crazy. Yeah.
2 hours?
Depends on where I go. I mean, I'm right here. It was on and off of the Key Bridge. It took me 20 minutes to get to the city, 30 minutes to get north Baltimore County because I traveled the entire state, and now it's 3 times that amount of time.
And this new normal will last longer than expected. Now the state anticipates opening the rebuilt bridge by late of 2030, not the fall of 2028. Joining us now is Bruce Gardner. He is the executive director of the Maryland Department of Transportation. Good to see you, Bruce.
Jason, I'll just say that I'm executive director of the Maryland Transportation Authority. Don't want to.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to keep you in the right organization. I appreciate the correction. Listen, I'll bring you the question the way it was given to me in the grocery store the other day. What the heck happened when it comes to cost? I know we're all dealing with price increases right now. You have it on a large scale.
Yeah, no, and thank you. I do appreciate the opportunity to help communicate to the region about the challenges that we're all facing here. The days after the bridge collapsed, in order to enter into that federal program, we had to come up with a number. The guess that we had, based on looking at everything else, we were estimating based on several different factors without any engineering. Right? 0% engineering. No one would build a house that way. No one would give you an insurance claim on your car that way. But we had to enter into the program, and we have been working diligently since that time to come up with a design and doing all the engineering needed for this price estimate that now. Yeah.
Is there any fear that as this price raises that it begins to be a bit of a fight with Washington? Are you confident that with the 100% projection that they're giving back to Maryland?
So we've been in conversations throughout this project. We started, in that estimation process, working with the federal government and to come up with those initial estimates. They've been looking over our shoulder throughout the design process. So we are complying with all those federal standards, and we hope to engage with the federal government to prove that we are worth that 100% cost share that they provided. There's several other things that'll come in to help offset that.
When we talk about drivers, we're looking at some renderings right now as we work our way towards a newer bridge. Has there ever been a thought of looking at alternatives in the meantime, or are we trying to make what drivers have now work better for them for a little longer?
So you mean alternatives for the transportation in the network?
Yes, sir. I mean, I've heard people, a person said to me the other day, well, why don't we just try ferry for a little while, which I'm guessing will cost more money. But I'm guessing you have to take what you have right now and make it efficient.
Yeah, in the early days, we were looking at a lot of different options. There were the discussions about ferries, and there's a lot of things that go into that, landing on either side. How's the car network? How's the transit network around the bridge? It's a very challenging site. So we've been moving in this direction with our progressive design build as quickly as possible. We are advancing this project faster than any other major bridge project in the country.
As we talk about the bridge itself, NTSB had their report and press briefing not that long ago, and kind of looked down on Maryland and what they did as far as risk goes and knowing the risk that was involved with the Key Bridge. Tell me what you took away from that as you listened to their report.
So key there is we did listen to that report, and the final's not out yet. This is something that's in litigation. What we are doing now is building a bridge based on new standards, which is a requirement. There were guidelines before for looking at old bridges, and we're advancing the new pier protection at the Bay Bridge as well, which was also part of the NTSB recommendation. So we're doing things at the Bay Bridge to retrofit now. So we're taking actions on all fronts. And I think that's important for the public to know that we're serious about all these improvements.
Help people to understand pier protection and what this new design will be able to do that we didn't have before if a ship, hopefully not as big as the Dolly, were to ever come close to it.
Sure. So when we have to look at designing a new bridge, there's multiple elements. It's the actual protection, the physical features. It's the width of the piers out of the water. So with the old Key Bridge that was designed to the standards back in the 70s, it was for that certain class of ships. The piers were set. As the ships grew, we couldn't move those back on an existing bridge. But what you'll see with this new bridge is piers that are farther back. They hold up a bridge that's higher over the water, 230 feet versus 185. And the pier protection is going to match that modern standard that is needed for the vessels that we see now and we see in the future, which is the calculations that we've done over the past year, and designed football field size pier protection all around those main towers.
All right, Bruce, it's a beautiful design. We'll look forward in 2030 to see what you guys come up with. Thank you for the time this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jason. I think, we're doing all we can for that traffic in the area with some other improvements we didn't get to talk about, but more to come on that.
Sure. No small feat. You're always invited back. We appreciate it.